All right, after the Trump verdict last week, I had my friend Megyn Kelly on the show to react to the verdict. It was a spirited back and forth. Not surprisingly, her position was that the verdict was unfair, and she blamed the DA and the judge, among others. Now, she and I agreed that the case never should have been brought. But when it came to the broader question of whether Donald Trump technically did anything wrong or even illegal, our views were not aligned, and that led to a heated discussion that got picked up by various media entities. Fair enough, that's what happens when you argue on TV. But then, this weekend, various characters from MAGA world took a small clip of what transpired and declared that I had been owned, eviscerated, schooled, with hundreds on the far right coming after me. Dan Bongino told his 5.2 million followers on X that I am as dumb as a box of rocks. The popular right-wing Twitter account called Cat Turd declared to its 2.5 million followers that Dan Abrams just proved what an idiot he is in real time. Then you got these two saying to their thousands of followers, I thought Dan Abrams was a serious person. Whoops. And I never realized Dan Abrams was such a complete idiot. All right. Now, putting aside what makes this particularly funny is that on Sunday, same day this was all happening, I was also getting attacked, as I have throughout the trial, by the left for saying on ABC that Judge Juan Merchan should have recused himself and that I thought the case never should have been brought. But here are the parts of the clip that they transcribed when sharing some of our debate. There was definitely wrongdoing. Whether it should have been a crime is a separate... What's the wrongdoing? What's the wrongdoing? All right, number one, it's paying $130,000 to a porn star to keep her quiet. That's to try to protect your campaign. When you're doing it to protect the campaign and you are spending money on it, then now I'm going to switch back to the legal. You are now crossing the line into legal problems. Right?
You aren't. That's no, absolutely not right. Incorrect at every level.
But when you're doing it to protect your campaigin, it is. That's the difference.
No. What law are you citing, Dan?
Campaign finance laws. You're not allowed to give the...
You don't know what you're talking about. It does not amount to a campaign contribution if it is the kind of payment that could ever be made outside of the campaign context.
That's not the standard.
There's been Supreme Court precedent on this.
That's the game. I get it. And it also, of course, ignores the fact that as much as I often feel like an idiot, who wishes he had the intellectual prowess of, say, a Dan Bongino, I was right. I get that right and wrong doesn't matter in the clip wars, but to those who do care, this is for you. First of all, we were discussing whether Trump did anything wrong at all, legally or even morally. And let's put aside that this was clearly a personal expense, not a business one, even though he falsely put it down as a legal expense. Trump could have been charged, just as Michael Cohen was, for campaign finance violations in federal court. Megyn had claimed that if the payment could ever have been made outside of the campaign context, then it's not a campaign finance violation, except the law is actually just the inverse of that. The FEC says a prohibited personal expense in this context would be one, quote, that would exist irrespective of the candidate's campaign or responsibilities as a federal office holder. So the legal question is whether the payment would have been made, quote, irrespective of the campaign. That does not mean the question is whether it could ever be made outside the campaign context. I called it a substantiality test. It means that it's not a violation if it would have been made regardless of the campaign. So, would this be considered a violation by the FEC? Well, in 2021, they found that American media knowingly and willfully violated the law by making and consenting to prohibited corporate in-kind contributions with regard to payments related to Karen McDougal, the other woman Trump and AMI chairman were trying to silence by buying their stories. So we know the exact same sort of payment was deemed to be a violation. And AMI chairman David Pecker and also Michael Cohen made clear the payment here was made to protect the campaign. Look, you can believe it wasn't proven. You can believe, as the Republican former head of the FEC has said, that these facts don't pass the test here to warrant a criminal prosecution. And you can also believe, as I do, that this petty ante case should not have been brought against the former president. But you can't change the law to fit your theory. I'm not saying they should have brought this criminal charge, as they did with Michael Cohen, but on the question of did Donald Trump do anything wrong here, it seems the FEC has pretty much answered that for us. So to the handful of you who asked me to respond, there it is. To the others who just insulted me and made me a viral villain, thanks for the clicks.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.